Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children, we welcome you to our online teaching academy Ekalaiva. Children, today under production function we are going to discuss about isoquants. The two words, if you take iso and quant, these two words are derived from the Greek language, meaning iso means equal and quantity is the meaning of word quants. So an isoquant curve can be defined as the locus of points representing various combination of two inputs, that is capital and labor, yielding the same output. It is also called as the equal product curve or the product indifference curve. So according to Ferguson, an isoquant curve is a curve showing all possible combinations of inputs physically capable of producing a given level of output. So we may combine two different factors, but our output is going to be the same. Here there are some assumptions. Only two factors are used to produce a commodity, and factors of production is divided into small parts. Technique of production is going to be constant. Substitution between the two factors is technically possible. So we may change any factors technically. Next one, under the given technique, factors of production can be used with maximum efficiency. Now in this slide you can see isoquant schedule. Let us suppose that there are two factors, namely labor and capital. As isoquant schedule shows the different combination of these two inputs that yield the same level of output. Here 400 is the same level of output, but there are different combinations of this labor and capital. So 5 combination of labor units and units of capital yield the same level of output, that is 400 meters of cloth. So here you can see 5 combinations. Combination A, 2 units of labor and 30 units of capital. In combination B, 4 units of labor and 22 units of capital. And in the combination C, 6 units of labor and 16 units of capital. In the combination D, 8 units of labor and 12 units of capital. And in the combination E, 10 units of labor and 10 units of capital, but all this combination gives the same result, that is 400 meters of cloth. Children, this is the graphical representation of this schedule. Labor is marked on y-axis and capital on x-axis. Here you can see units of labor increases from 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and here the combination of unit of capital is 10, 12, 16, 22 and 30. So if you join these lines you will get an isoquant curve. Here the same output, that is IQ equal to 400. So an equal product curve, it represents all those combinations of 2 points which are capable of producing the same level of output. Now here you can see an isoquant map. An isoquant map has different isoquant curves representing the different combinations of factors of production yielding the different levels of output. So an isoquant map is a family of isoquants. If more than one isoquant is drawn in a diagram, it is called as isoquant map. So here you can see this is isoquant map 4. So in the previous slide we saw how to draw isoquant curve. So using different combination we can draw different isoquant curves. So the combination or the representation of more than one isoquant curves in a graphical representation is called an isoquant map. So these are all the various isoquant curves. Here 400 units, here 300 units, here 200 units, and here 100 units. So different combinations of factors of production yielding different levels of output. Now properties of isoquant curve. The isoquant curve has negative slope. So it slopes downwards from left to right, indicating that the factors are substitutable. So in the diagram also, A refers to the more of capital, that is K5, and labor as L2. As the producer moves from B, C and D, more labor and less capital are used. Here you can see more labor and here less capital is used. So the isoquant curve has negative slope. Next one, convex to the origin. So this explains the concept of diminishing marginal rate of technical substitution. So for example, the capital substituted by 1 unit of labor goes on decreasing when moved from top to bottom. If so, it is called diminishing marginal rate of technical substitution. So constant means it is a straight line and increasing means it will be in the shape of concave. So all these are possible. It depends on the nature of the isoquant curve. We can draw these three curves. So this means that factors of production are substitutable to each other. The capital substituted per unit of labor goes on decreasing when the isoquant is convex to the origin. Next one, non-intersection of isoquant curve. For example, here point A lie on the isoquants, that is two isoquants IQ1 and IQ2. But the point C, you can see here, shows a higher output and the point B shows a lower level of output in IQ1. If C equal to A, then B is equal to A, then C is equal to B. But here C is greater than B, which is illogical. Next, an upper isoquant curve represents a higher level of output. So here higher IQ shows higher outputs and lower IQ shows lower outputs. So for upper isoquant curve, it implies the use of more factors than the lower isoquant curve. So the arrow, you can see an arrow in this diagram. It shows an increase in the output with a right and upward shift of an isoquant curve. Now here isoquant curve does not touch either x-axis or y-axis. So no isoquant curve touches the x-axis or y-axis because IQ1 only capital is used and IQ2 only labor is used. So these isoquant curves does not touch either x-axis or y-axis. Now isocost line, it is an important component in analyzing producers' behavior. So it gives the possible combinations of two factors that can be used at given cost and for a given producer's budget. So it represents the different combinations of inputs. It is also called as ISO price line, ISO income line or ISO expenditure line. So in this table there are 5 combinations of capital and labor such as combination A represents 4 units of capital and 0 units of labor, and this combination costs rupees 120, that is total expenditure is 120. Similarly, other combinations you can see B, C, D and E cost same amount of rupees, that is rupees 120. And here you can see the total budget is 120, which is constant for all the combinations, and price of capital K is rupees 30, and here price of labor is rupees 10. Here there are 5 combinations of capital and labor. Now you can see this ISO cost line. It is shown that the costs to be incurred on capital and labor are represented by the triangle here OAE, and the line AE is called the ISO quant line. So that is all the 5 combinations is represented in the ISO cost line. Okay children, today we discussed about ISO quants. To receive our online lessons, please press the subscribe button and you will receive the latest updates. Thank you children.